The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Woo! Hi, everybody. Welcome to the A Show. We are happy to have you here, and we're really happy to have Jimmy G back with us. Welcome.
So glad to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you could make time for us. You're our favorite natural healer, and we learn so much from you every single time you're here.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so glad that people are open to health and wellness. I think now more than ever.
I know. It's a really interesting time we're going into. I'm seeing more trends as far as being, where we used to be. So I mean, that's one of the things we're going to talk about today, right? So trends in the wellness community and health and wellness and how to live your best and healthiest life.
That's right. I think it's very wise to kind of get some perspective too. Like, isn't it ironic that we live in an age where we have so much more access to information, so much more updated information, but yet our country seems like it's exhibiting more levels of illness than ever before? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think somebody said we have so much access to information, yet we are still so uninformed.
It's odd, right? It's very odd.
Yeah. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody joining us. Before we get rolling, I see Michael. Hello. We've got, let's see, who else is in here? Alex. And hey, I just want to thank all of you guys too for your birthday gifts. I really appreciate it. You made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and thank you for that. I see Allie and Zach and Winona and Cool Awesome Dude. Thank you. More are coming in. So we're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. And Speedway, hello. We're talking about health, wellness, and one of the things I want to talk about was memory. We're going to touch on that too. But yeah, we have all the information we could possibly need at our fingertips. Yet we suffer from a lot of, bad information or ignorance. I've always noticed that. I think that's what started me down the path to conspiracies. I don't even want to say that because it's truth, really. It's way back in my 20s, which was, 2 weeks ago.
You're a year wiser, not older.
There you go. I was in the fitness business, and I still kind of have one toe in that, but in the fitness business, what we are shown that works and what we know that works, what they call biohacking now. We know certain things, we experience certain things, we're using them, we're sponsored athletes. And then what I'm watching, the medical community or media or whatever you want to call it, the government put out as this is what you should do is completely wrong. It's like you're giving people such bad information. I saw it with, pushing bagels and carbs and then, blaming meat and cheese for cholesterol. And it was like just over and over and again, you see it and it's like, no, it's this, they're lying to you. And I couldn't figure out why for the longest time. And then I realized that, we have a very, very profitable medical business making people sick.
So that's the truth. It is the truth. And I tell you, there's something about like 1942 comes to mind, because in 1942, frequency-based healing was made illegal, banned by the FDA.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
So we knew. We've always known that frequency-based healing is a thing. And I know that these days it's coming back. It seems to be a new trend in healthcare. Like, let's get sound bowls. Let's get the singing bowls. Let's get the vibrational devices, electronic biofeedback devices. It's all sold as new, but really it was around in the 1920s and 30s. And Dr. Rife, we might have heard that name, Dr. Raymond Rife. Funny thing that when Dr. Rife passed away, the government kind of swooped in to took all of his random research notes. I wonder why, right?
Like Tesla,
Yeah.
like same thing with Tesla, right?
Oh, and many more. Yes.
They're doing so much of that. And so, yes, so now we're seeing that come back. And we have a lot of, one big trend nationwide now is just the advent of so many people that are doing the gong-based classes and sing bowl classes. And we know vibrational healing is real. It's just amazing that it's sold as something new. And really, it's been around for so long. And as long as we have felt our bodies, I think all of us have felt vibrations in our body. When we feel better, we feel a difference in our body. Maybe that's what makes good music feel so good. I think there's something
Jimmy.
about
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think it's just interesting. That good old, 90s tune for me works for me. Just the best of ska, 1995. That can make me feel like a much better mood instantly.
Yes.
Is
Go ahead, Eva.
the frequency healing still technically illegal, or did that change?
I think it's just no longer endorsed. I think these days it's not necessarily
I
banned
should
per
just look. I
se.
couldn't find anything. Yeah.
It's just hard to get formal research. And what we were saying before about, wrong information and such, I kind of wonder if oftentimes it's just simply archaic information because some government agencies just will not put out information if there's not enough research behind it. So that, I think, is a difficult dynamic where we just sit and we wait for research, but it could take years and years for this research when people in the holistic world like me, we've been teaching this for a heck of a long time and always getting called quacks and such. But really, it just takes like 10 or 15 years. And then we finally get vindicated in the classroom.
And then nobody apologizes or,
Oh, not at all.
Nobody says you were right?
That's right. Yes. In fact, I used to teach at a massage therapy school locally here. And I tell you, the hardest class for me to teach was Chinese medicine. Anatomy is easy to teach because anatomy is just simply taught, the same way. We all have the same bits and pieces, and there you go. But teaching Chinese medicine was difficult. Teaching about esoteric ideas of feeling this and this point here controls that. That became hard because I had a lot of students in my face like, this is a bunch of bunk. Give me the hard anatomy class. That's what it can be researched and verified. And now, 15 years later, I love saying in the classroom, see, I kind of told you so. There are professional ways to say that.
Well, I was saying it's interesting how they've managed to erase thousands and thousands of years of healing and safe, really safe, effective, tested, long-term tested in just 100 years with Rockefeller's MO and all his money, which is when it switched over in the early 1900s. And even knows a lot about that. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Eva.
I was just looking at some more things actually in the past day. I had sent you the thing on the Y-Files came out with something that is a 4-hour show, which is really long for Y-Files, but there's so much information in there from everything from Rockefeller and all the Einstein and Tesla and all these breakthrough people with everything from medicine to industrial equipment and miles per gallon on cars, 100 miles per gallon. All these things that were squashed and these people mysteriously died, disappeared, their paperwork gone, their research gone, all in the name of secrecy or privacy with the government, squashed, gone, because they couldn't make money off of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And, then Big Pharma and Rockefeller and all these people took over the world, and that was it. And it wasn't just them, but anyway, those are just a few names out there. But real quick, hey, if you guys are hanging out, log in, say hi, tell Jimmy hello, ask questions.
Yes,
share the
please
show.
log in. Please log in. Please share. We appreciate you.
Yes. And April, did you have a couple things you wanted to go over real quick before we get deep into discussion?
Yeah, no, I also wanted to say real quick, thank you for coming out to Fanboy. I got to see a couple of people. It was a fantastic convention on Saturday. We appreciate that. We will be back out to another convention the 30th, October 30th. So it's going to be a Halloween party. It's going to be Tampa Bay Screams, and that will be at the OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater. So please come out. That starts at 6:00, and it is fun with a costume competition. We have a good time. And our guest from last week, D Nice, I'm going to call her that from here on out. D Nice Duff. D Nice. Anybody here with the name D Nice?
Right.
D Nice and Balake will be there. So Denise Duff, and will be there with us. So it'll be a good time.
Mhm.
Actually, a lot of the guests we've ever had will be there. I think Joe will be there. You're going to see a lot of them live. So.
Mine is Jimmy right here, so he's got to
Jimmy,
fly out one of these days.
Just come in and hang out.
Just got to come out to Arizona anytime. You're always welcome here.
Wait, hey, go both ways. Come out.
I might be there in January. So
wonderful.
Yes. So
look at that.
Yeah.
Right
so what else was I supposed to mention before we get deep into this conversation?
Our sponsor.
Yes. So things are crazy. And if you want to make sure your income and your money and your investments and your fortune, your future fortune is stabilized, look into Wolfpack Gold. This is really simple. You can go to aprilhunter.gold. This is veteran-owned, American. You can invest in precious metals, which are finite resources, gold and silver. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Exchange, and you can do a recurring buy for as little as $50. If you choose to do a recurring buy, use the code 1776 and you'll get some free constitutional silver. It will come directly to your door, and they are a fantastic company. We are dealing with our money fluctuating, going up and down, up and down. We have the BRICS nations ganging up and dropping the dollar. We have crazy inflation and deflation, de-dollarization. So stabilize yourself, because gold is not only stable, but it's rising. And you'll see that there are banks and countries buying up gold like crazy. So you can't go wrong investing in gold. Sure. So aprilhunter.gold.
Yes. So anyway, sorry. Got to get that stuff out of the way.
Alex is asking, do we get any discounts from this website? Yes. Use the coupon code 1776 if you use a recurring buy. So there you go. And I see more people have come in. Hello, everybody. Hello, War Demon. How you doing? So hey yo.
It's Michael's birthday today, by the way.
Oh yeah. Michael. Michael didn't sing to me. Michael didn't sing to me. All right. Michael, Eva, are you gonna help me this time?
Nope, I suck. Go.
I suck too, but
no, you don't.
All right.
Nope, it's all about you. Sure.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
and
birthday.
Many more.
There's your wish. There's your wish, Michael. Now come see us at OCC. We'll see you then.
Yeah, we'll see you then. If you guys show up to our appearances and it's your birthday, you get spanked.
Okay.
By Eva.
That's right.
Wear something appropriate. Oh. I like good
anyway,
legs.
I don't know if there's anything else we needed to touch on.
Just the streaming, the stream roll.
Oh yes, and Eva, go ahead. This is your forte here. You're really good with this.
If you guys have had a opportunity to think about the streaming service we told you about, that we shared, that we checked out in North Carolina, if you've had a chance to reach out to April or myself in reference to that, or if you want that video clip again to share and take a look at to save money on your sports packages, your streaming services, etc. So one box does it all, does everything you need, which is
including the Sunday NFL ticket. This is a really good deal, and it is $55 or less a month. So depending on if you want to bundle some months together. So I would, it is, we have fully vetted this out, and high quality. We've done it with multiple TVs in multiple areas in cities and up in the mountains. So I think you'll be quite pleased, and it includes all the pay-per-views, pretty much everything that is being broadcast you have access to, including all the foreign television shows. So if you're from somewhere else, or we're stationed somewhere else, or used to visit somewhere else, whether that is India or Pennsylvania, you have access to that. And if you're a sports fan, this one is for you. You get everything from NFL to cricket, rugby to UFC.
Oh, wow.
You get it all. And when the games are blocked in your area, you can log into the other area and still access them.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And I will drop the link back in there. You guys can copy and paste and check it out at your own time.
So we've got an 8-minute video showing everything. So take a look at it. Let us know if you're interested. We got you covered.
Absolutely. I will post the video in a moment while we're chatting.
Yeah. All right. So,
That was it.
yep. So we're on our, when we introed this thing, Winona and Lon, hello. Thank you for my birthday gift. Thank you. You light up my world there with these solar lights.
There you go.
I love fairy lights and solar lights. Winona made a comment from when we were talking about earlier. She said preconceived notions about something tends to be one of the top things that seems to get in the way of learning new concepts. Yeah, because it's easier to judge than think. So most people spend time judging instead of thinking. So as Ted Lasso said, be curious, not judgmental.
So true. And I think that Hippocrates, the great Greek one, said, everyone wants to heal until the medicine shows up in the form of discipline. So we know it's definitely not easy, but it's definitely worth it. The hard thing is that I've discovered over the years that if someone is having a challenge with self-love, then it may be difficult to then take the steps needed to do the self-care needed for someone. But that's, I know, a kind of a deep dive into down a rabbit hole of why don't people discover their gifts and graces and what makes it so people start to lose themselves. Boy, we live in a world that it's easy to lose ourselves, right?
Yes.
Before I get too far ahead, it just got me thinking, I know I said this in a class recently, that it's so interesting how many people look on here on these phone devices and they just look for the answers for healing. And I may look at someone's Instagram page and say, hey, they look great. It must work for them. I'm going to do exactly what they did. And I'll pay the $2,000 for the celebrity coach. And there you go. I'm going to do it. Not realizing that what works for them may not work for my body, right? Yeah. So I think that's a good example of maybe a preconceived notion that, hey, the look you see online must have come from exactly what they did, but it can work for everyone because some special person with 85,000 million followers says so. So
Yes.
It must be true. But maybe we just need to encourage people to take a look within. That isn't easy to do for everyone, though.
That is so true. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. And you have to remember there are a lot of influencers out there. Some of them are wonderful, but some of them are doing a lot of harm because they are endorsed and financed and even AI created or paid to push an MO, an agenda. And there are people who honestly don't realize the damage they are doing. They speak as if what they're saying is gospel. There will be people who speak and tell you, you have to be a vegan. You must be a vegan, without realizing that there's a group of people out there with the type O blood, that should never ever be vegans because it will create all kinds of issues with the iron deficiency. And there's a blood type out there that should absolutely be vegan. That's type A. They thrive, but not everybody should be the same thing. And when you follow without digging deeper, and then if you don't see the same results or you fail, then you could think, oh well, this is never going to work. Nothing's going to work for me, and it's not true.
And I think that becomes then like a hit against the ego. And then someone says, see, yet again, I tried this. I spent the $3,000 on the plan and it didn't work. Oh no, yet again. So I think a lot of it comes down to like, how do we get people to maybe put down the phone on occasion and maybe live like it's 1988 again? Just, think about what worked for me back in 1988. Get some sunshine, get some people in my life, get connected with people. That's why I just love, Eva, that background background you have behind you, that reminds me of 1988 right there, just going out playing outside. And who said we had to stop playing outside just because we turn 18, right? I think that when we start helping people realize that they really can find the answers within themselves, but it does start with being kind to ourselves. Whether we love ourselves is a different question, but at the very least, I think we all deserve loving kindness. And there's a word for that in the Ayurvedic tradition. The word is metta, metta. The right, correct metta, not the other evil metta. But the true metta is the active loving kindness, offering it to yourself first and foremost. And then once we feel like we are healed, then we can kind of get in this world and share that new love with everyone else.
Go hug a tree too.
Indeed, right behind you. I see
those
one.
big trees here. Just go grab any tree, hug it. It will hug you back.
I got you with the hug instead. Sorry, Eva.
Yeah, actually, hugging a tree does help discharge some of the electricity in your body. We are electrical beings. So if you walk outside, we have rubber-soled shoes. And ever since we started wearing rubber-soled shoes instead of leather and even wooden shoes, remember the clogs and things like that, Dr. Scholl's, since we don't make our shoes from natural materials anymore, we don't discharge a lot of the electricity, the extra built up electricity in our bodies anymore. So if you can, go barefoot as much as possible, especially indoors. It's a lot more sanitary also. And go walk outside and make sure you are putting your feet in the grass and putting your feet in the dirt and ground yourself to discharge some of that electricity. And hug a tree.
Yeah, and keep that cell phone in the car. Don't even have it on you because I think it interferes. I've seen that many times. In fact, in the massage practice I have here, I've seen it many times where a client may want to have a phone right there on the massage table, and I can feel a difference. I feel a difference. I just feel like there's a disturbance, interference, so we just kind of politely put the phone away, and it makes a big difference.
Well, I have a theory. I ran it by you earlier. I wanted to talk about this and see what you think. Speaking of that. Let me see what you guys think of this. I have a theory, and I could be wrong, but I have a theory, but there's a kind of a war on our memory. So, and hear me out for a second. This could be just another one of my crazy conspiracy theories, but here's my where this comes from. So who are you without your memory? So we have a collection now of, an epidemic of memory diseases. And if you don't know, your wisdom, your collection of life, your education, who you love, the people you recognize, these are all things that you have gained, right? So if you lose your memory, you lose all of that too. You don't recognize them. You have lost your education. You've lost all the wisdom and experience that you have accrued. So who are you? Because we always say that all these experiences we've had in our life make us who we are now. So if your memory is gone, then we're also gone. So we see that there is an attempt to erase history. And an attempt to change our language and take words away. We're dropping words out of our language like crazy, and adding phrases that the new normal and things like just so. There have been so many drugs linked. Speaking of health and fitness, there are so many drugs linked to memory diseases. We know now that COVID was a bioweapon. Everybody knows now it was for sure made in a lab. And then we know it affected the prefrontal cortex. That's why 60% of people lost their sense of smell and the taste. That's prefrontal cortex, which is also memory and emotion and multiple other things, which, by the way, your brain has amazing, neuroplasticity, so you can build that back. But that is your memory too. We know that they have created social media designed in a Vegas slot machine style to keep our minds so busy that we can't store memories. So we need time to go over things that people said, that we have said, how the day went. And you can't do that if you're constantly busy. You know, there's been so many times people have said, I don't know where the weeks have gone. I swear to God, this only happened, 6 weeks ago, and it actually happened 6 months ago. So I made notes, and I just wanted to mention some of these. When you keep your mind so busy, this also affects the kids. So they start with the cartoons, and they're programming them very early. So 30% of the regularly prescribed medications affect memory. At 221 out of 744 are linked to dementia. I just started looking it up. I'm like, it seems like there's an awful lot, with the top two being alprazolam and statins. So in the 80s, as we've talked about before, in the 80s, they rolled back the cholesterol numbers so that they could prescribe more statins. And because of that, Alzheimer's has dramatically increased. We have a memory, really, like we have an Alzheimer's epidemic in America. So I was curious. I started looking up. I wanted to see if it was here, because we have a for-profit healthcare in this country. Is this the way it is everywhere? And it's not. In Europe, Alzheimer's has decreased by 13% every decade over the last 3 decades. And it has steadily declined. So, and that is in part by, because they have an ESC, which is a European Society of Cardiology. They do not allow people to get on statins. You have to qualify in order to get on statins. It is very difficult. They do not allow widespread statin use. So they consider us very liberal with our medications. And America uses 86% of the global drugs. We take 86% of the drugs globally, yet we're one of the most unhealthy nations. So it seems like between them programming the kids at a very young age, creating social media that is very addictive. We know it's addictive. We have a hard time putting our phone down, and we really have to make an effort to do that. Knowing that our drugs are linked to memory diseases, and they either hide that information, or don't make it widely available. Knowing that other countries don't prescribe these drugs because they're not safe. Knowing that they're erasing our history and changing our language. Knowing that COVID was biologically engineered and it does affect the prefrontal cortex. Knowing these things, it makes me think that there is a very, very marked attempt to erase our memories so that we don't remember things. And if you do not remember your history, you are doomed to repeat it.
I have more to add to that, but Jimmy.
Oh, go ahead. That's just my, yeah.
I mean,
That's just my theory. It's just a theory. I could be wrong. I could always be wrong.
There's always a kernel of truth in every theory, even the conspiracy theories, right, that have been proven 1,000 times correct, right? Yeah. What you say definitely is like a lot of different angles to it. One, it reminds me of the brain waves that will be responsible for memory retrieval and collection. And those are theta waves and gamma waves. So if we can do meditations or exercises that get us into those theta and gamma waves, we can actually enhance memory formation and retrieval in our brains. And I had to just look up real quickly here, between 4 to 8 hertz would be a good kind of measurement to get us into theta waves. And then 40 hertz gets us into gamma waves. So we can do some sort of, sound healing that involves, or frequency healing, biofeedback healing that gets us into like the 4 to 8 hertz range, or 4T hertz range. And I think that right there will be certainly a good catalyst for that. Also, what you said reminds me of a study. It was published in Time magazine actually a couple months ago. How they did, they had 3 different groups of students writing essays and then trying to remember what they wrote in the essay. And there was one group that only used the old-fashioned brains that we used to use, like what I tell my children, can't be using no computer, no AI, just think of the sentences, right? The 5-paragraph theme, like back in 1990. A second group used ChatGPT exclusively, only. And the third group used like a combination, like a hybrid, a little bit of brain, a little bit of online sourcing. And it just seemed to be like they did brain scans, and they realized that the brain scans of the old-fashioned way, much more the brain was lighting up because you had to integrate so many pieces of reading, writing, thinking it through. The brain was much more active. And of course, the Chat GPT, that group was almost non-existent. Their brain activity was very, very low.
And it stayed low afterwards, right?
It sure did.
That's all that study.
That's right. And that concerns me because when I think about something like degenerative brain disease, like this is where it gets really scary for me. And as the definition of degenerative brain disease involves when we lose more brain neurons than typically expected. I mean, we're going to lose a few as we age. That's just kind of a normal process. And we can stimulate more brain neurons. It's very possible to do that. As we are, aging, yes, we might lose a little, of course. But if we start losing a lot to a great extent, now we are at risk of any condition featuring dementia, which I have to make a quick mention. We know dementia is a symptom of another condition. So if someone starts exhibiting dementia, we then need to ask for which condition, from which condition. Is it Huntington's? Is it Parkinson's? Is it ALS, the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis? Is it Alzheimer's of some form? Lewy bodies conditions there. So we have to be able to kind of, I look at like a prediction for the future. Like I'm really concerned that we're going to have much more early onset dementia as we start to witness brain inactivity. And we know the body is inherently lazy in the way that if you don't use it, you lose it. So if we're not continuously keeping the brains connected, yes, you're right, April, the brain is neuroplastic as long as we keep
if you allow it to grow back. This is one of the things we do. It actually works out the prefrontal cortex.
Yes,
and it's actually a lot harder than you think.
That's right, it is. I think
I have a lot of little tidbits to throw in too when you're done there, Jimmy.
I think it's great that we are having this discussion because I think a lot of people just kind of think of as Alzheimer's as the same kind of disease as a regular bacterial disease, and it's not that way. You don't get Alzheimer's from the flu you had last week. It's an accumulation of a long time frame. We think now it may not be a long time frame, but you have a rapid degeneration of brain cells happening. And I'm scared to death now to think of a 10-year-old who their brain should be really exploding with activity when they're 10 years old, and now it's not. So when they're 30, when they're 50, just not as much activity you would expect. I'm going to predict that we're going to have so much more Alzheimer's in the future.
I'm going to.
April's got a study that she saw.
Yeah, Eva's going to throw some stuff in here, but I'm just going to say this real quick. Dementia and Alzheimer's starts developing when you're in your 40s and 50s. So you can head that off as best as possible, but it starts slowly developing then. And we saw a really scary study last week about children in Australia now being how many is like 1 in 33 or something?
It was crazy how many are diagnosed with
Alzheimer's. These are young children being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and they're trying to normalize this. Yeah. No, these are some of them are children. They're like 8 and 9 years old.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
What the heck? Children.
What's happening over there?
Right. So true. And even I would love to hear what you share too, because there's definitely a lot there.
So just saying a few things. First, you were talking about use your brain or lose it. I remember even my dad, my grandfather said my grandfather sits down with the puzzles on the back of the newspaper. And he used to do that all the time. He said it keeps your brain active because all those crossword puzzles, whether it's about entertainment, whatever it may be, you're constantly using your brain to think about those things and put numbers together, letters, sentences, things like that. So he always did that too. And the word trivia books, things like that, where you have to use your brain even to connect dots. It doesn't even matter what it is, really. And my dad used to say, sit down and read the paper every day. Even if you don't like what you're reading, you'll find something in there. Read it every day. What's that?
You are right. I'm sorry. It's not Alzheimer's, it's dementia. It says childhood dementia. Can you read that?
Yep. One Aussie baby every...
Childhood dementia claims one Aussie baby every 3 days. One Australian baby is born every 3 days with childhood dementia, yet half will not live to age 10 as experts push for urgent national response. How can that be?
And how did it get this far without, making attention somewhere? Well, gaining attention, I should say. And I'm sure it has. It just gets squashed like half the other stuff in the world doesn't get out there. And that's like a whole nother subject of why this stuff doesn't get out there. But the GPS, using your GPS
Oh my God. Right? Yeah.
So Google Maps has been getting really bad to begin with, and it sends you in circles, gets you all fucked up. And as we found out, a fanboy when we left and go, oh my God, there was another mess.
Oh, and I think that like certain businesses are paying to bring you out to their area instead of sending you the most direct route. So if you don't know where you are, it's starting to pull you to other streets.
I would challenge it.
Yeah.
I would challenge everybody to look ahead on your Google Maps. Let's say before you even leave the house, look at it. Look ahead. See where the streets are. See if you see a better way that you recognize. Go that way. Don't go.
Get an atlas. Just buy an atlas map.
Right. And that's my point of saying is if you don't know the area, at least you can look ahead and say, no, I know that junction sucks. Why is it taking me through that? I'll go this way. At least, just go that way. Don't even look at the GPS. And there's so many people that put the GPS up just to check the traffic ahead, like somebody I know, who should just turn it damn off. You know where you're going. You don't need to look at it.
Well, I want to know what's going on with the traffic, okay?
Who cares? It's like
I care.
It's like a news feed. Just go with the flow. Pull out maps, do this thing. Think for your brain. Make your brain work. Know where you're going. Know which way's north, south, east, west, because you know what? You'll find your way home that way. If you know you're north of where you live, oh, I'm sorry, go south. You'll find your way home.
No, I'm telling you, dude, if we were in an EMP and everything stopped, half the people would be gone right then and there because they wouldn't be able to find their way home because their GPS would be done. They'd just be wandering in a circle somewhere. Be like, I don't know how to get home.
It'll be entertaining for all of us going, look at that motherfucker down the street. I always knew he was weird. As he's walking in a circle, and you're like, oh, isn't that the guy from a street over? He came and find a street over. Yeah, exactly. As he's talking to his phone, why isn't this fucking thing work in the middle of the street? Okay, so anyway, enough of picking on that. The actual thing that I found is I actually found a study that I was in that had really something interesting in it. It was the methods of reconstructing collective memory, or restructuring collective memory. And when I was reading it last time, I was like, huh. So it talks about the methods of restructuring collective memory. What, let's say, people are doing to us. We will say the government or whichever you want to call it. Where they broke it down into basically 4 categories: education and curriculum control by shaping school curricula. And this is taking away the history. We already know they've been doing this. So if they don't want us to know about the Pilgrims, maybe next year's
Japanese internment camps that they did.
Right. So next year when they put the new updated versions out, where it used to be, we were in school, they would put a new history book out, once every 5-10 years to correct something. Had to go through all these approvals. Now they don't have actual books really anymore, so they can correct that and it'd be out the next school year. So think about that. So then they, like you said, they start with the kids. So then they have the media control, the state influenced outlets and media that we all know there's only 5 or 6 controlling factors of the widespread.
It's literally state-owned media.
Yeah. So if you look at that, and then there's the censorship and information suppression.
And now the algorithms. Now the algorithms we're going to be death by algorithms, because now whatever you put out there, you're going to get back. So you're not actually going to find any information. You're going to just get, confirmation bias of everything. Like, oh yeah, I'm right. I'm always right. I'm awesome. That's all you're going to get. You're just going to be in a bubble of confirmation bias now.
And no, Wolf, this is not pre-recorded. Hi, Wolf.
No, we're live. Hi, James. Hi, Wolf. Yes, my
So
birthday. Well,
there was
actually,
a
my birthday was I was just working. That's it. So no, I did not get to enjoy my birthday. And yes, I hate traffic. I'm right there with you. Hi to everybody coming late. Hi.
uh, yes, hello. So the information suppression there have slowly been
Mhm.
taking down the Internet Archive. Okay, so they've been taking away all these things that we have the research to go find what happened on this day back then because it's not printed in books.
Mhm.
Or in the case that if you think it might be printed in a book, you might want to get that book, whether it's a Guinness Book of Records. That's printed every year. That is a great tool. It's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, or a farmer's almanac. A matter of fact, let me just throw this in real quick. You keep going. But Eva and I
No,
are going
go
to do a
ahead, finish.
show next week. We're going to do a show next week on how to, a daily checklist on how to opt out, basically of the matrix or fascism or however you want to call it. It'll be
Mhm.
no one can fully opt out of the matrix or corporatism or fascism or whatever. But we're going to give you a little daily checklist of multiple ways that you can how do you want to put it, little things you can do that you might not have thought of that will keep yourself in a better mental state, I think, and also make you feel better about things and more secure about things. So we got
Exactly.
2 pages of tips for you, so
Oh
don't
my
miss
God, and it's
it.
growing the more I keep
Yeah,
finding articles. It's like a rabbit hole.
yeah, it's such a great list. So
So
even keep
I'm just
going.
going
I
to
didn't
throw
mean
one
to
more
interrupt
thing.
you, but it seemed
No,
like
no,
an
no, it's
opportune
okay.
moment.
I'm just going to throw one more thing out there and then throw it back at you guys. That the fourth thing that they had on there was actually commemorations and public symbols, and it made me think of what just happened out in Oregon with the statue that I brought up to you. So, for instance, I don't know if you guys remember that all of a sudden everybody took down all these Confederate statues because, oh my God, Confederates, blah, 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 blah. So this
Which
was
I want
what.
to say, the history is not there to make us comfortable. It's there to make us remember.
Exactly. History is
Okay.
history. It is what it is. And so you can learn from it and form your own opinion. That's what it's there for. Your own opinion, do your research.
They don't want you to
But
ask questions about slavery because they want you to be a slave.
right. So they took all those symbols away. So they put up these new ones, these new statues and things. So apparently, and I'm just going to do real quick on this story, is there's a gentleman or a group actually that puts together these statues and different things and goes around to national parks, specifically this particular one in Oregon, national parks, and petitions to put the sculpture out once a year. Well, usually it's harmless, it's entertaining or political, but not too bad or out of proportion. Well, this year, and I'm sure everybody or most have seen it out there, they snuck it under the radar and got approval without knowing what it was. It was a statue of Epstein and Trump going like, "Ah," and holding hands together in a friendship thing. So
I
as
saw
longtime
that, but
friends,
I didn't know what it was. That's kind of funny.
right. So when you start digging in and reading the article, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So now that they got it up there, even though it was taken down in less than, I think one day, it was already up around all over. Once it's on the internet, you'll be able to find it just like anything else eventually. But the point is that just reshaped history by one statue, one day, one picture.
Well,
That was the point. So it's that easy to change a narrative or history book.
so that means that I guess we could all change history if we wanted to.
Well, then here we go. Let's do it today. Let's start right now. Jimmy, do
Yeah.
it.
Love it, love it. Hey, vote for me, Jimmy G. I'll do it. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Yes, Michael. Read books. Read old school. Go to those used bookstores. Find that stuff because that is the history that is not going away.
Yeah, and they can't
Support your
change the
local
code
book.
on books. They can't change the HTML,
Yeah.
any of that. So,
And support your local economy. Support your local bookstore.
yeah. And Alon is asking, is there a great deal of difference between brain waves from a TV and a radio?
Yes.
I think there is. Yeah, the radio waves are longer, so they probably have the amplitude is different. They hit us differently.
Yeah,
Yes,
plus
there is.
TV is actually, there's a reason why it's called programming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, the waves of a TV, like an old fashioned, if you had antennas up, like the antenna, HD antenna,
Mhm.
That is a different wave than your streaming or Wi-Fi.
Mm.
Completely different effect on actually how it works to the brain. It's kind of like having your cell phone versus an antenna. Comes through differently. So
Okay.
whether one's better or worse, I would say old school is probably better for us than what we're dealing with, which radio is important. We need radio to stay on the airwaves,
Mhm.
and not in HD form or all this other stuff, because that will be the resource we need if something ever happens and shit is the fan. Not many people have ham radios, but we all have regular radios available. You should if you don't.
So I love all the points that we were bringing up, Eva. Thank you so much, because I think that a lot of thoughts came to mind while you were talking. One is I think about like the stress that we're all under, generally speaking. And I think we're just generally geared to be stressed. I mean, the more that we look at phones, the more we just can see the algorithms give you 10 more videos of what you just saw,
Mhm.
and then 10 more times we get a stress response in the brain. I think a lot of people actually are walking around with PTSD and don't even realize it. Whether
Mm.
it's been diagnosed or not, the brain will still go through a certain circuitry at play. It's long story short, it's called the Papez circuit through the brain, and that was named after Dr. Joseph Papez about 80 some years ago. And I think that there's something here about we are probably living in a state of PTSD without even realizing it half the time, because we're just so amped up, stressed 24/7. I know I can be up all night and maybe just kind of see something and be like, oh my gosh, I need to send this to April. Holy beepity beep. Oh my.
And you do. And also, we weren't meant to watch people get shot live on video. We weren't meant to watch
Right.
women get beaten on video camera, or we weren't meant to watch all of this. And in real life, this is not happening when we step out of our door, hopefully. So we're seeing it. It's concentrated online, and we're seeing so much of it that's like pow, 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 nonstop. And I love your theory, because I didn't even think about that. It's just a train wreck after train wreck after train wreck after train wreck. And you go outside and you hear the crickets chirping, by the way, at a hertz that is healing. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So when we were in North Carolina off the cell phones, the crickets were so loud. I forgot how loud crickets
That's
were.
a healing hertz. A lot of nature, actually, speaking of the hertz and healing, a lot of nature is at a healing sound, like bees. If you get underneath a hive of bees, that is at a healing frequency. Crickets are too.
Cool. I love it. And I was thinking about like there's three, like going back to the idea of memory, what's happening with it, the level of consciousness that we have with memory. It reminds me that there's three different kind of memory sections I think are getting really adversely affected by the constant stream of stress. One is your hippocampus. And I call it the hungry hippocampus, because that game hungry hippos, gather up as much as you can, because your hippocampus is really good about linking memory with emotion. Like if there's a strong emotional tie with a memory, maybe that's why we can remember a bad breakup in high school, but I can't remember what I ate for breakfast 2 days ago. Right? There's just kind of random things like that. But I think that your hippocampus does such a great job of, you were stressed, it affected you a lot. We're not going to forget it. We need to remember it just in case we're in that situation again. We won't get hurt again. So that's kind of one big key aspect of memory. Another one is the amygdala. The amygdala part of the brain is like the fear center, anxiety center of the brain. In fact, in med school, I think they use the acronym or the statement, Amy G. Dalla is a scared little girl, to remember it, that this is the fear center. When you start seeing things that are fearful, causing you to be anxious, that can be encoded in memory saying, hey, if I see you again, I'm going to remember it and be afraid again, which online, we can do that all day long, can't we? Yes. And then the third one is going to be what they call the insula. insula, 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 that's very, very deep in like the pit of your brain, very as deep as you can go. And the insula is really good at recalling emotional based memories again. Like if I felt emotional about something before, I'm probably going to feel that same feeling a second time, a third time. So, what you were saying before about like we're not meant to see these things, I've been shocked in the last 5 years what social media will allow you to see. And as I'm watching the Charlie Kirk thing, like of course seeing it through my Instagram, I was in between class sessions. I'm thinking, I can't believe they actually allowed that to be shown. And now we're seeing this over and over again, 3 different angles, 5 different angles, 10 different angles. And I think it now gets so encoded in our brain that now we might see a similar thing in the future, have that automatic fear response. So
But
whether
yet they take down April's bikini photos.
yeah, something like
That
that.
was, oh, you beat me
Sorry.
to it. Yeah, they'll let you see all of that, but they'll AI police my wrestling matches or my bikini photos and call it hang on,
Sexual.
is it sexual solicitation
That's
content? Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
At the same time, I can report a page much, much more salacious, and I'll get back this does not go against community standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that video of Mr. Kirk was up for quite a while. I think it was only slightly recently been taken down on most platforms, which is sad.
So I think there's a certain degree of intentionality to allow that to occur. And so I think that there's definitely a coordinated effort to try to keep us as stressed as possible. Because if we're stressed,
fight or flight.
We need meds, right? We need meds. We need comfort food. We need all the Twinkies and all those things that we need to eat for comfort. So I think both industries are fed when we are stressed.
Ice cream.
We need SSRIs. We need alprazolam. We need to shop. We need Amazon. We need to shop. We need to have our unhealthy coping techniques to manage our PTSD. You're right. That's a really good point. We notice it's not only that, but the gaslighting some people do make us think it was all staged. People are so dumb now. It's really crazy how the lack of critical thinking, the level of it.
Some of the BS I've heard, I will share it another time with you, April, and stuff I was hearing today.
Okay.
So, trapdoors, all kinds of crazy stuff today.
Oh, wow. Really, really hardcore. Like, I don't even want to call myself a conspiracy theorist anymore because I always have been a proud conspiracy theorist. But some of the stuff that people say now is so stupid. I don't want to be associated with the conspiracy theorists.
And people are, of course, trying to find answers. I recognize some people are just trying really hard to make sense of it. And that is a PTSD response, that the brain is just trying its best to make some sense out of things that it just doesn't seem to add up. And we're just doing our best. But when we do get this information that goes in 10 different directions, it's always hard to know what to trust.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, here's an interesting thing with that I have a question to go along with that. We were talking about the frontal lobe and all those things, right? And the recall. So if you have an experience like this has gone on with the Charlie Kirk shooting and the fight, flight response.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah. So what does that do for if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, or you need to keep your brain active? Does that help keep your brain active, or does that hurt you? You think
creates cortisol?
Yeah, certainly. And cortisol
creates belly fat.
It's right. It's your long-term stress hormone. Aldosterone being the short-term stress hormone. It's going to raise your blood pressure. So
that's bad for dementia. That I know.
Yeah, and I think that once you
space. Yeah.
When you start getting like inflammation, blood pressure rising due to aldosterone, more adipose, belly fat because of the cortisol, you start getting an increase in glycolysis breakdown. The sugar is breaking down the liver. So physiologically, the body will start to become more inflamed. And I have to show off a couple books here that I was going to show off at some point. The Inflamed Mind
Mm.
Edward Bullmore. It's one of my favorite new books I've been reading. And it does talk a lot about when the liver breaks sugars down too fast, when the all different 14 stress hormones are active in the body, it is going to affect the brain at some point. So a lot of people have inflammation in their brain, and we know inflammation breaks down tissues. So reason number 85,422 to learn some calming exercise. Calming means
Manage stress.
living like it's 1988 again, then I think that right there can help calm the mind. So I just want to make sure you guys all kind of know there's a great resource on that. And then I also think about, of course, being the massage therapist, being a body worker. Now for 25 years, I had that moment of, wow, over half my life now, it's been like that. But I think there's a great resource called cranial sacral therapy. And this is actually the hub of cranial sacral therapy is in a little town in Florida, Palm Beach Gardens. Is that anywhere near you, April? Palm Beach.
on the
No,
other
that's the, yep. Other side, it's down lower, yep.
Okay, right on. So again, when you go to Florida, there's the place called the Upledger Institute, and there's a great figure named John Upledger. He has since passed away, but his family still runs the company, runs the business, and this is Florida is like the hub of the Upledger group. I mean, there's teachers and practitioners nationwide. I teach cranial sacral therapy in Arizona, and this is the kind of work that I think is really great for anyone who you were expressing, Eva, before about just the risk of Alzheimer's, the risk of degenerative brain disease, the risk of inflammation in my body because I'm stressed, and there's 14 hormones at play in my bloodstream. And a not so fun fact about the hormones is that they can stay in your bloodstream up to 30 days.
Wow.
So I can get stressed today due to something, and then those hormones can still be in my body next week, all the way to next month. It's not just like you just can't get over it, kid. Like maybe I heard back in 1988.
Walk it off.
Is it actually walk it off? Buff up, Buttercup, right? It's not as easy.
Yes,
There's such a thing as an emotional hangover. Like you can feel it after you have a fight with a loved one, and even though you've cleared the air, you can still feel that emotional hangover.
Yeah,
so it's probably along the lines,
30 days later. So that's why I bought a picture of this book here, Your Inner Physician and You by Dr. John Upledger. It's a great resource on cranial sacral therapy, which is a complementary body work. It's different than massage therapy. Your typical massage, you're disrobed under the top sheet and you get, the typical massage that you're used to. But cranial sacral therapy is more of a gentle touch. You don't disrobe at all. So you stay fully clothed. And it's really about just holding the head, holding the body in different positions so you can help alleviate the tension from the body in a really unique way.
I want that done.
That's right. Yes, indeed. Sounds good to me. Sounds good.
I want all of it. I want all the massage. I want all the massage.
Reflexology is always great too.
I know it's somebody's massaging her head there. Yeah.
I want the massage.
I want it all.
You will get it. I promise one day you two will both get it for sure. All right. But I just think it's really great though. It's really great to think about other body work, that any good body work is meant to decrease inflammation, because we know stress in general increases inflammation. Plus all the seed oils, plus all the sugar and everything, plus the glyphosate, plus everything else Monsanto's putting in, plus GMOs have been legal since 1983. Like the list just goes on about all the strikes against us. But we can find healing, I think, through body work efforts and self-care measures we've talked about.
I have a question for you. How do you feel about, I know people talk about seed oils. How do you feel about grapeseed oil?
Ooh, I think it's pretty okay. I think it's designed to, in a massage setting, we use grapeseed oil to help give an antibacterial element to the oil. Very clearing. I think it's very clearing for the brain. I would add some frankincense oil to it, because frankincense we know is also clearing for the mind. So I would definitely add that for sure. But I think it's great if you have to add essential oil. I think everyone should. Everyone should do some sort of lymphatic work, trying to push the waste out of our body, the toxicity out of our body. That could be like in a facial protocol, like even applying your facial whatever cleansers at the end of the night or beginning of the day. It's taking the makeup off, doing some sort of self massage, self-lymphatic work, even gua sha, the gua sha tools that people will use to scrape up their body. I think that can be good. But I think if you do any sort of self-massage, adding in some essential oils would be excellent for us all, considering like all day long we were exposed to pollution. We're exposed to the air pollution. Like here in Phoenix, we have, I think, the 5th worst air quality in the country. So we feel it. It's thick. I can step outside and my lungs are feeling it. And I just
we're
drive.
just going to move to Florida.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm wondering if like Miami's just as worse.
Oh, don't go
No,
to
not
Miami.
Miami. We still, yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
When we don't
Nobody moves to Miami.
Yeah, don't go to Miami.
But yeah, I just think about, yeah, you know, we're just bombarded with pollution from food, from water supply, air supply. We need some sort of daily cleanse. I think it's important now, daily at this point, just cleanse our body. That's why I like to take a shower at the end of the day, just to kind of like imagine that,
Clean everything
our
off.
body.
Yeah.
Yes, I go through a lot of essential oils at home, and that's great. I love my essential oils.
Do you have a particular kind that you recommend?
Yes, a Body Bliss brand from Sedona. It is a good, high quality. So Body Bliss.
Putting over the Arizona right there, aren't you?
Always got to represent, right? Yes, I just feel like they have a good combination of like good professional use, but also personal. It's a good, you know, price-wise, it's like mid-range. So it's not too expensive, but it's not the cheapest you'll get, but it's certainly you get good quality.
One thing I've noticed, I'm just going to throw it out there, is, you know, there's a huge market for essential oils, but one must wonder if you are buying something in the dollar store versus buying it, depending on what you're using it for. But if you're using it for things like you're discussing, I would definitely consider getting something, making sure you're getting good quality.
It definitely matters. It matters a lot because certainly medicinal qualities can be difficult to gauge. And the cheaper the oil, the less it's going to be truly medicinal, because there's a difference between the aromatherapies and essential oils. Aromatherapy is meant for fragrance, ambiance. Essential oils are meant to be medicinal. So I think a good one that I spoke with my students about is rosemary oil. I would have like rosemary plant in my classroom, and I would just tell some students, put this behind your ear. So you're smelling it, and it's really great. Using the oil on your body too is really great, but it definitely rekindles the memory.
I love it. I love rosemary.
Another
Question. She's asking if you've ever worked on someone physically disabled. Is there a different approach to that, or does it matter?
Yes, very much so. My first consideration is going to be the environment I have, making sure there's clear pathways. Nothing's going to be obstructing the walkways into my practice space, making sure that I'm taking my time, giving ample time. I know some massage establishments, they might have like a 10-minute turnover, and I don't do that. I make sure there's a half hour between clients just to make sure I'm not going to rush anyone. I don't want anyone with any sort of physical challenge to feel like they've got to like rush out of my room and run and walk real fast and they trip, right? So I'm going to make sure that there's plenty of bolstering, like extra pillows and bolsters and blankets, just to prop the body and under the knees, under the shoulders, under the abdomen, just wherever is going to be comfortable for them so they can sit up as they need to. I have a tricked out table here though, too. I have one of those pedicure tables that can elevate. So that's really nice to elevate the upper body if need be.
You should share some of this information, like show us those tables and cool stuff you got.
Yeah. Well, come on out. I'll be happy to do a show with you right here. How about that? Right here, live from
Jimmy's studio.
How about that? I'm okay with that. Okay. Yeah, but yes, I definitely will make sure. Again, environment is suitable, positioning is suitable, and extra repositioning devices needed, bolsters and such. But also the techniques. I got to remember that when someone has physical challenges, there's a tissue called the fascia. The fascia.
Oh, it hurts.
Fascia, indeed, right? So, I can do like maybe a mild fascia release, which is supposed to be a lighter touch. Usually it's a lighter touch body work, so I don't give them a regular deep tissue massage. It can be more of a mild fascia releasing because fascia in the body, long story short, is like saran wrap, and it
Mm.
protects and it guards structures. It can wrap around structures. So if we get injured, the fascia will instinctively like try to get really tighter and to protect the area. So it could take some time to relieve that in a light touch way first, then let that fascia relax. Then I can do any other touch after that.
I have questions for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
With all the stuff going on in the world right now and the health changes, let's just say RFK Jr. Or anything.
Now we're banned from YouTube. He said the word.
Oh.
He
That
said
guy.
the name. He said the name. The name.
That
Oh
guy.
They
boy.
love to hate that guy. The one guy
Oh.
asking questions. Why? What that everybody should be asking. Okay. go
I
on.
know. I know. So I
You know-
guess my thought is, do you see the changes coming down the road that are going to be good for natural healing, like in your business, or maybe not so good?
It's going to be positive because he is saying, that guy is saying things that we've been saying in the holistic art world for a good 30 years. I can still remember being a student in school 25 years ago, sharing, my teachers were sharing with me the same messages saying, I hope one day we can do the things to curtail what's in our food supply, get rid of the red 40 and all that jazz. We were saying that 25, 30, 40 years ago. And now that he's saying it today, I think most people in the healthcare world are saying, finally, we have someone at the top levels who can finally promote what we holistic practitioners have been espousing for a long time. So I'm really encouraged by it. Certainly, I mean, everyone has a checkered past, but I think some people are just focusing too much on maybe some random note from 1998 he may have said. At the end of the day, I don't like to get lost in those details. I like to say, what does the future hold? It's a paradigm that encourages discovery and challenging the status quo, which I think we need to do for sure. About time someone is in a position of power to do so.
Yeah, I don't think they're questioning. I honestly think that the pharmaceutical companies, the medical industrial complex, has so much money that they own everyone and everything from politicians to media. I mean, almost majority of the television programming is owned, or run by pharmaceutical companies. Same with radio now. I mean, we can't even have streaming anymore that we paid for without seeing commercials for pharmaceutical companies cut in. So when they have that much money, they also, buy bots and sock puppet accounts online. They're going to pay influencers to, trash RFK Jr. We are the fattest, sickest nation. We are the richest, one of the richest nations, but we are the fattest, sickest nation using 86% of the world's drugs. We should be at that number. We should be the healthiest. But they're experimenting on us, globally.
Always, all the time.
So you have the one guy asking questions going, why is this all happening? And all of a sudden, the pharmaceutical companies, who incidentally, we are the only country with this type of a for-profit healthcare that other global countries get cut in on because they have universal healthcare, so they sell their drugs to us at a 2,000% markup. All of a sudden now they're like, he's a witch. So that's what it's a witch hunt. No,
it is.
No, he's innocent. No, he's a witch. So that's all it is. People are not speaking out because anybody in the know who's been anywhere even slightly aware or around the healthcare and fitness business over the past 20 years has been alarmed at what they have seen. And we have seen it get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So he is saying or asking questions of the same things that we've all been saying and asking questions. And now they're just turning on him because this is their cash cow. They need everybody to be sick and fat and stressed. And he's going, why is everybody sick and fat and stressed? And they're like, shut the fuck up.
And before he was in office,
shut the fuck up.
That's when Zempic and all those ones came out first.
No, don't say no. That's what they're saying to RFK. They're like, shh, stop asking questions. Just let them be fat and sick, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I recognize too that there's a lot of articles that I've tried to find that I remember, like, what was that article from like 15 years ago? The internet is scrubbing a lot of those articles for
That's
sure.
what I
Hard.
said.
Yeah,
Internet
you have to
archive.
save. You
used
have
to.
to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You have
in fact, there
you
was
have
a
to
Russian
download things
study.
if you find something you like. I can't even find some of my old writings.
Put it
Yeah.
on the external or hard drive and then
That's
keep
right.
it.
You
I
got to do
remember-
more than that. You got to print it out because hard drives get corrupted. You got to actually print things out and put them somewhere.
In fact, I remember there was a Russian study a good at least 30 years ago by now. They actually put some sort of like dye within the skin, within the body, that it would follow the meridian lines of Chinese medicine. And the Russians kind of showed that the lines match perfectly with the Chinese medicine it espoused for so many centuries. And lo and behold, I can't find that anymore.
Well,
Website
if it was
not
30 years
found.
ago, it's got to be in a book somewhere.
Right. Yes, I'm hoping. I'm just scanning that, going to try to find that. But I think that we actually want to highlight there's so many great naturopath doctors that we want to refer to now. If we can support anyone in the medical field, it seems like naturopath doctors seem like they have kind of more of the cutting edge, because it seems like so many just generic doctors, regular doctors, I'll say, they just still seem like 10 years behind the times.
Yeah.
So I think when you go see a naturopath, which we do have here in Arizona, I have to highlight again, we have the dream come true. We have a place called Sonoran Medical University, and it is where we have medical doctors also learning homeopathy. We still the perfect marriage of allopathic medicine and homeopathy is.
I mean, now are they getting government grants? They can't be.
Yeah, unfortunately not yet. Unfortunately not
Yeah, it's
yet.
gotta be private. I was going to say it's
dream-
got to be a privatized university because no government's going to give them any
Oh,
money.
yeah. No.
That's right. But the dream is coming true. So, because we in massage world, we always said, what if we had doctors that were trained like this? And yes, so I think we're starting to see those universities pop up. We just need to make sure we support them. And again, I just want the viewers, the listeners to know that, yeah, look up a naturopath doctor. You'll be surprised, even though they might be a little younger than the traditional doctor is. Don't let that fool you. They're more on the cutting edge of what we're talking about than the average doctor is.
Well, there's also too. It's amazing to me how Arizona has been a front runner in the United States for a very long time in holistic medicine.
Yeah.
In their universities and training
Sedona in
methods.
particular has a whole
Yeah.
entire
And I'm sure it
area.
has to do with the spirituality of the state and roots going back to
So many. We can thank so many
Indian
great.
roots and things like that. So which, thankful, and it fits then why you're there. But that being said too, there was something that came up with somebody's specific doggy who needs some allergy meds. And so I started looking up holistic vets in the area. And when I did that, I was very surprised to find there was more than I expected. I figured there'd be one in a couple counties. There was quite a few around here. So that was nice to see that that's coming available in this area as well.
Good to hear that. I love it. Yeah, we're just blessed to have so many great universities nationwide now. I know here in Tucson, we do have the University of Arizona with Dr. Andrew Wheel's great program. So I know that's being replicated around the country. So I just ask the viewers and listeners, just be open to seeing a naturopath doctor, because I think that you are going to start to see more people of like-minded that are going to seek the true holistic care and not just pop the pills as normal.
Yeah, they my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She had non-small cell lung cancer, and they gave her 6 months to live. And at that point, she was kind of up for anything. She's like, "Oh, 6 months isn't a lot." I'm like, "Let's go see a holistic doctor and see what we can do." So we went to see one. She had been from Portland, Oregon, which out in Portland, it's different than Pennsylvania. Portland, a holistic doctor is a doctor, period, end. In Pennsylvania, they have to practice under a different, at the time they had to practice under a different set of letters. They weren't recognized as a doctor there. But she was fantastic. She changed my mom's diet, told her which supplements to use, changed some things around, told her, about the baking soda and the molasses in the water each day to bring her alkaline to a certain level. She just changed things, and my mom ended up living over 3 years by changing all these things, tweaking all these things. I mean, like I said, she was already terminal. She was going to go. But what she wanted was some time and a higher quality of life. So, and we got that. So,
Excellent.
and Winona said government created a Mandela effect. They'll erase it. Nope, you're wrong. It never existed in the first place.
Indeed. We are starting, and that goes right back to the memory idea. Are we remembering things properly? Are we not? It's kind of hard to always
Like,
ask.
put in the loop.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Or Berenstain Bears. Berenstain.
Berenstain?
I found a picture. You can't find this almost anywhere, but I found one. It was Berenstain or Berenstein, however you want to say it. It was Berenstein Bears. It was not Berenstain, Stain. Now it is. They changed the name. So these bears were Jewish. They were Jewish bears. Okay, we grew up with Jewish bears. We loved them. Okay, they were Steen, whatever. And everybody's like, no, they didn't. They never existed. Yeah, they did. And I found the picture.
Yes, indeed. Yes. I would love to highlight a couple great naturopath kind of based doctors here. Well, maybe not naturopath, but certainly I know that there's some great, especially when it comes to women's health, because we know that for a long time in women's health care has been lacking solely in our country. So one great book I have that I highlight in classes, The Menopause Manifesto, Dr. Jen Gunter. I'm a big fan of this resource. When I was getting this in Barnes and Noble, my son looked at me and said, "Why are you buying that book, Dad? What do you got to tell me here?" but it's a wonderful book about just the effects of what occurs in the body during menopause and perimenopause, premenopause. So it's nice to be able to. I recommend that resource for so many people. And then there's another doctor named Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. If you've heard of her, she is just phenomenal about also sharing the effects of what's happening in perimenopause. How can we start to cut it off at the pass before it progresses too far too quickly? So I definitely recommend Dr. Gabrielle Lyon and Dr. Jen Gunter as great resources.
You hear that?
I did.
Indeed.
Yes. Menopause.
In fact, I think either would be an awesome.
Eva has been suffering. Eva's been suffering.
Life
It's
sucks.
not been a fun. It's not been a fun.
No, life sucks.
Then
No,
Barnes and
it
Noble.
doesn't suck.
Barnes and Noble tonight. There you go. Barnes and Noble tonight.
Thank
Do
you.
they have an audiobook?
I bet they do. And have we mentioned the gut-brain connection much? We know that there is a gut-brain connection.
Oh, go ahead. I'm aware of it, but please go ahead.
I think it's really good. Another great book I often reference is Overcoming Chronic Digestive Conditions. A wonderful resource here. Dr. Nikki Kenward, a wonderful resource to highlight the importance of the gut-brain connection, recognizing that people can have a lot of brain fog, a lot of just challenges with the memory because of what's happening in the gut anatomy, the effects of cortisol. And I think about the many patients I've seen where once we just do abdominal massage, there's been many, many cases of just doing abdominal massage and someone feels much more clarity within the mind. So I think that goes with a lot of people. It doesn't have to be a chronic illness per se, just general population. So I think everyone needs some good just tummy rub at some point.
And one of the things, one of the issues, like my dog, you got 3 wishes. You rub the genie comes out, and it was like all 3 of them is a tummy rub. One of the things that is so frustrating about this country, and I'm dying, Allie, Weinstein.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein. It actually fits. One of the things that's so frustrating about this country is that we have broken the body down into parts, and everybody gets the part, and none of the specialists talk. And on your insurance, your teeth and your eyes are not part of your body anymore. They don't exist. So you have to insure them separately because your body no longer recognizes your teeth or your eyes. But if you have something going on, they're going to send you to a neurologist for your mind if you feel foggy, or they'll send you to my brain is what would it be for your stomach? Gastroenterologist.
Yes.
Yep. A gastroenterologist. And these 2 doctors will never speak. They will never share notes. And if you don't know, if you're not awakened to what's going on, you might not put together that your gut and your brain are connected. So this doctor over here is wanting to do like brain surgery and give you medication. This doctor over here, your gastroenterologist, is wanting to do this, that, and the other and give you medication. And now you're on medication for this and medication for this. And now you've got side effects for both. And this is where you start to fall apart.
And your third medication,
like really get sick.
Why does my body hurt? Why do I ache? I don't know.
Oh, and then they give you another medication because of the side effects you have for this medication. When realistically, you probably should have figured, this is what we want you to realize.
Up. I'll give you a statin.
Yes. And there's a lot of great examples to mention about the connections of our body. We're doing a lot of great research on bone health. And there's one really fascinating thing that just came out a couple years ago about osteocalcin. Osteocalcin is basically a chemical enzyme of the brain, of the bones. And the bone, it basically is supposed to make the bone produce more bone matter, keep itself strong. But now we're noticing that when osteocalcin affects the mind, that now we see more brain neuronal development. Neurons literally coming together more so. So we're seeing that bones are connected with the brain. And you know who said that 5,000 years ago? Chinese medicine. How the heck did they know 5,000 years ago bone brain connected in their elements?
Were you the one that sent me the video on the doctor who looked at a brain scan of a heavyset woman who had never lifted weights, and she had the same brain as the Alzheimer's patient?
Yes, indeed. I think so. Yes.
So, yeah, resistance training, heavy weightlifting, it creates a healthier brain than having too much body fat or obesity. So, an obese person and lack of weight training, if you don't have muscle, the lack of muscle, because that is the fountain of youth, heavy training, even if you're just getting in there and doing the best you can, resistance training can ruin you, destroy your brain.
Literally. And I'm so glad you said muscle is the fountain of youth. It keeps our body metabolically active. And so when the body's metabolically active, we know all the other internal organs have to remain efficient. So we certainly got to make sure that we hit those weights, or just do some sort of working out, exercise every single day, whether it's taking a walk, taking a run, just doing something around your house, like lifting Campbell soup cans if we can't afford to go to the gym, just something.
Like the Golden Girls.
There you go, right there, right, Indy, right? So I think there's just something about, just making sure that we stay active. Ultimately, it doesn't have to be called exercise. It's just remaining active.
Yeah. Some people just pick up rocks outside and use them too.
There you go, juggle.
We went to the river and I hadn't gotten the workout in, and I'm standing in the river. It's freezing cold, but I was up there about to my knees, and I'm looking for the right size rocks. I'm trying to find two rocks that are like about the same. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Trying to get something in before the drive.
That's right. Oh, I love it. So, I think that if we can keep our bodies as healthy as can be, keep our muscles as strong, keep our bones as strong as can be, I think all that will also help with the memory challenges we mentioned before.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling your info, Jimmy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So they know where to find you because you have so much information. And if I remember correctly, you do some online stuff as well, right?
We have in the past. I think we'll do more in the future, especially as we start expanding our business.
And if they're in the area, is Advanced Massage Arts and Education. Am I right?
Indeed, correct. Here in Tempe.
Your email address.
Do you still do Reiki online?
We sure can. We can do that, indeed.
I mean, do you do it with people?
I can, indeed. Yes. It just
no,
takes
only with animals. Sorry.
Yes, we can do that. We can do that with one-on-one sessions.
Awesome.
Yes, I should have specified. So yes, you can get a Reiki session with Jimmy. I've had several, and they're fantastic.
What? Oh, I would like that. Yes.
Indeed. We'll plan something.
I wasn't trying to cut you off, Jimmy. I just was typing in. I want to make sure people know how to find you because you're amazing.
Indeed. I appreciate that very much indeed. And it's been a fabulous show.
So thank you. And where can they say it out loud for anybody that is listening instead of watching? Where can people find you?
Oh, indeed, in Tempe, Arizona, right next to Phoenix, just east of it. And right here, I'm kind of by IKEA and Costco. So if you're ever kind of in the area, IKEA, Costco, shop till you drop after you see me.
Okay.
All right, and it's Advanced Massage Arts and Education. And I see you have a website, and you find you on Facebook.
Yeah, just
And
on
then
just my
it
name.
was Jim G at Advanced Massage CE dot, or excuse me, yes, massagece.com.
Indeed, people can follow me on Facebook, and I try to post health and wellness information every day in addition to classes, because I know there's just so much out there that's not so positive. I try to keep my Facebook as positive as it can be.
Yeah, I steal your stuff all the time.
Good.
We
It's
I
for the
do.
take.
are back on Podbean, right? Podbean, Spotify,
Mhm.
Apple Podcast, and more. So you guys can listen to Jimmy on
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, please add us.
Mhm.
So,
Beautiful.
well, thank you.
I've been training for one thing, April. I've been training for the pec flex, because I know I keep feeling a muscle every time I do that. So I've been
Awesome.
Pull off some dudes,
trained.
some
Been
bits, and I
trained.
didn't want to do it in the middle that while you're talking. I saw you
Oh,
were
look at
going
you
through this.
go.
That's it.
Go, Jimmy.
All right, I
There
feel
you go.
embarrassed. I don't even know if I want to go
There
up
you go.
against that.
Feeling good.
All right.
Feeling good. There you
All
go.
right, so are we
Pull off
flexing
some
the
dudes.
show
Thank you
out?
for the bits.
There you go.
Okay.
Feeling good. There
I
you
don't
go.
know. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can beat you.
You just did. I think you just did. There you go. Feeling good now. Feeling good.
Well, now we got to wear the shirt for Jimmy next
There you
time.
go.
That's what
I'll
I
wear
gotta
that
do.
same kind of shirt next time I'm there.
There you go. Do we have anything else to talk about, or are we going to close the night out?
No, I did want to remind people that the oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of the Matriarch Wrestling Mayhem is going to be happening November 7th in Las Vegas, and there will be a custom match taping after that. You can find that, oh gosh, online. If you're a wrestling fan, you're probably already aware of it. But if you or yours would like to order a custom match, spoil yourself for Christmas, or just spoil yourself because you work hard, you can get a custom match. And there's quite a few girls going to be there, including myself. So you can go ahead and book your match and book your ending, and we'll do that for you, because you can do that ahead of time. And I will also be at WrestleCade Thanksgiving weekend out in North Carolina. So that should be fun too. And of course, you can see me the day before Halloween on the 30th. Eva and I will be at Tampa Bay Screams at OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater, Florida. So you'll also be with me in North Carolina. Huh?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be in WrestleCade.
Yep.
And check April out at patreon.com and
Yes.
on YouTube. Like the show everywhere.
It's
Share.
patreon.com April Hunter.
Yes.
Because I'm delisted because I have naked stuff on there. So they take you out of the listing. So you have to actually you can't search for me. So it's patreon.com April Hunter, because you have to be over 18, because I have some of my pinup on there. Okay, I have a lot of my pinup on there. Okay, I've got a very generous amount of pinup on there. If we're being really honest, it's a lot of freaking pinup on there. But there's also wrestling.
and you know what? Congratulations to you on the clips for sale and doing everything you've been doing there at BentBox to try and get all that resolved. For all you guys that's been following, April finished the deadline yesterday.
I did not have a birthday.
No, she's been working endlessly to fix all of the issues with clips for sale. So.
Yeah, I did not have a birthday. I worked through it. I worked through the whole thing. I went to the Fanboy Expo on Saturday, where we got up at 5 a.m, left at 7, got there at 9:15, worked at 10, got home at midnight almost. And then the next day I had to drive up to Jacksonville to go to a memorial service, and was there all day too. So yesterday I just kind of stared at a screen and tried to work. And then I had 2 podcasts today. I had one with Goldilocks earlier. So if you're in the wrestling business, you know Goldilocks. Hang on, but I'll be on her thing. Let me see. Here we go. I think it's called the Gold Thingamajiggy. But yeah, we did this one earlier.
Cool.
So she was in TNA and a country singer, and she does some stuff with Mickey James. So I'll be up on her show soon, and she'll be on ours. So she'll be on ours the first week of November. So, yes.
The website I'm thinking you're talking about is for GBG. And it is, Jimmy, you want to say it out loud there?
Yes, advancedmassagece.com.
Yes.
Awesome.
Indeed.
Chowny
Thank you for
Man,
having
Ben,
me.
Rob.
Thank you
What's
so much
up?
for having me, beautiful souls. It's been a pleasure tonight.
So thank
You're
you
awesome.
for coming back on the show. We always love having you. As somebody mentioned, you radiate peace, and
Oh.
it's really
Mhm.
cool. You know, in today's turbulent times, like you said, with the cortisol and the stress and everything else, it's nice to have all that peace and the information. And I think a lot of us didn't put that connection together. You know, all of these things for our own health. So hopefully, people will leave here with a better understanding of how they can stay healthy, and what they can do and what they can look out for when they go to the doctors, and you know, looking up a holistic practitioner, and you know, if they're in Arizona, look you up to get a massage.
There you go. Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. Can't wait to chat with you all very soon.
Awesome. So you guys, thank you so much. Jimmy, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Eva, thank you also. Thank you for being here. We will be back on. See you next Tuesday. Next week, we have a really, really packed show on all kinds of fun, interesting tips for you. Do not miss next week. And like I said, we will see you next Tuesday. Mwah. And Cool Awesome Dude and Ben Rob and Chowny Man and everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know the last two of you got here late. So good night and thank you. And thank you again to everybody who sent me a birthday gift. I appreciate it. It was a crappy week, and it was one of the things I really looked forward to doing. It was opening some presents. So thank you. Mwah. Well, thanks guys. We love you. Well.